Hi and welcome back to my film and TV channel. We're going over to Amazon again today for an Amazon original. This is straight to streaming, so it's got a 16 certificate for a streaming film. I'm going to have a look at something called Goodnight, Mommy. Yes, please, if you are new to this channel, just push that subscribe button, push the bell notification. All these blogs are coming out. I'll try and inform if I can and entertain if I can, depending on the type of thing. Obviously, some documentaries are a bit serious, so I don't bother, but things like horrors and psychological horrors and thrillers like this Goodnight Mommy, yeah, might find something to cheer you up or disappoint you, one of the two anyway. So please join me. And if you do enjoy football, like football, I do little vlogs for my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if that's of any interest, have a look at that. If not, don't worry about it. This is all film and TV today. But please, if you can leave your comments about this film or anything else, it doesn't matter what, and give me a thumbs up, make an old film and TV watcher very happy. And just give us that thumbs up if you can. Got time to leave us a comment. So we're just looking at Goodnight Mommy, a 16 certificate, 92 minutes, so not overly long, which is all good for me. I like that. A psychological horror thriller, if you like, or just basically a psychological thriller. Horror, yeah, there are elements of horror in it, but we'll talk about the original, which wasn't too long ago, apparently, of this. This is a remake. Directed by Matt Sobel and written by Kyle Warren, serving as a remake of the 2014 Austrian film of the same name. Now, I'm not seeing that, so I don't know. If you've seen that one, you may be disappointed in this because I don't think I've read any reviews from anybody, critics or the public, have said this is better than what it's based on. But sometimes the case, isn't it? But if you haven't watched the Austrian film, then yeah, watch it as a one-off standalone thing. See what you think. Stars Naomi Watts and Cameron and Nicholas Cravetti. Yeah, do a good job. You know me and young actors, I'm not usually impressed. I thought they did very, very well. The film follows twin brothers who suspect their mother was switched with an imposter. That's what we do with their clocks, isn't it? And watches. Following her recent surgery where she dons bandages over her face. Yeah, so a simple sort of psychological horror sort of setup, if you like, which is interesting. The dad doesn't bother to go in; he just leaves them outside. The poor buggers have to go in. So his dad's really dropped the lads in it, that's for sure. Yeah, how's it rating? Well, the public, yeah, not great. It's okay actually. It's almost getting a watchable score on Internet Movie Database, which is your public. 3,288 scores and reviews. 1,764 people liked it. They scored it between 6 and 9, and 1,238. So a lesser figure scored it between 2 and 5. So almost 60%, 59% positivity. So it's not too bad. That doesn't bode too badly. A few 10 out of 10s, a few 1 out of 10s, which I've ignored. Rotten Tomatoes audience, again, very close. 2.9 out of 5 Rotten Tomatoes audience. That's 5.8 out of 10. So again, just slightly under that little 6 out of 10 sort of figure we like to see for a half-decent film. And this is released on Prime Video by Amazon Studios on September the 16th, 2022. And this review is being done, and all these scores and comments are at September the 22nd, 2022. So there we go. We've got Rotten Tomatoes. About the critics, what are the critics thinking? Well, 38% of 52 critics were positive, so that's not much. That's not very good, is it? Average rating of 4.9 out of 10, so a little bit down on the public. The public are liking it slightly more. 20 fresh and 32 rotten. So again, not a massive thing one way or the other, but again, still disappointed. Paul Burns, he was fresh. He quite liked it. He's from the Sydney Morning Herald. He said, I was going to do an Australian accent then. I'm glad I didn't. I can't say it's better or worse than the original. It's effectively chilling rather than terrifying. Why Sabelle needed to remake it is a mystery. There you go. Well, we'll bit more on that in a moment. I'm not too sure without knowing it. I'm fairly sure I've not watched the original, with it being an Austrian original. I'm fairly sure I haven't. Rotten, though, was Benjamin Lee. He's from The Guardian. He said, in the press notes for the film, Sabelle shares that his initial response when he was offered the film was a no. Not seeing the point in revisiting something so recent. He should have trusted his first instinct. Perhaps he was offered a few extra dollars. I'm not too sure. Perhaps I'm being a bit cruel there. But yeah, that's why say no and then all of a sudden go back and do it? I'm not too sure. But and again, as I said, I've not seen the original, so whether this is better or worse, and most people think it's worse, fair enough. The consensus on Rotten Tomatoes: Naomi Watts is as talented as ever, she is, but the Goodnight Mommy remake has no real reason to exist. There, so a bit cruel. But then again, I don't speak Austrian, and sometimes I don't want to watch a dubbed film. I don't want to watch subtitles. But having said that, it's just a time constraint. I probably would love to go back and watch it, but I just don't have the time to look at old films. I'd love to watch loads of classics, unless I stumble across them at night when I'm getting, just an hour before bed and just come on the TV. I have nothing else to watch. Metacritic uses an average, of course, and they got a score of 43 out of 100. So again, not very good based on 16 critics. 2 were positive, 12 were mixed, and 2 were negative. So pretty much split down the middle. But a lot of low scores, a lot of 50s to the lowest was 25. And it did go up to 70 out of 100. Independent's Clarice Luffrey, we like Clarice, don't we? 40 out of 100. She said, all in all, the film is exactly as you'd imagine a Hollywood remake to be. It's too po-faced, too stripped of its meanness, and so drearily inevitable. Okay, fair enough. We got this covered. Their website said, with gripping performances from the Cravetti brothers to keep us intrigued enough to keep us watching until the end, Goodnight Mommy still manages to unmask some thrills, even if the strength of its source material ties it down. Yeah, I think they gave it about 62 out of 100. Again, obviously better if you haven't seen the original. Right, my score for this, guys, before I do a quick sum up. Yeah, I was hedging. I was, for the first 80 of the 90 minutes, 85 minutes of the 90 minutes perhaps, I was probably edging towards a nice steady 6 out of 10 watchable, but I've ended up with a 5 out of 10. And the reasons for this, I'm obviously, as I said, I'm not going to go back and watch the original, the Australian original. There's too much new stuff in this world to watch without going back 8 years to try and find that one. But it is the sort of thing I'd love to go back and watch because, as I said, a lot of people have been flattering about the original. I think it scored about 7.3 on Internet Movie Database, so it's probably is good worth a watch. If you want to watch a film and it was this, I'll try and find the other one instead. It was a fairly good watch. As I said, some nice acting from the lads, and of course Naomi played a great role, and it keeps you sort of interested, especially about 2/3 of the way in when the stakes were sort of upped a little. Everything sort of started to kick off just a little bit. But I just found the conclusion a bit weak and a bit not puzzled by it. I worked out what was going on, but it was just all a bit weak, and I just thought it could have been done a lot better. Like I say, without knowing the original, probably it was done better in the original. It's such a shame because in its own right, I thought this film had a lot of potential. But as I say, as a film, if you haven't watched what it's based on, and it's so disappointing. As I said, it sort of made you watch the first third of the film, and I said by 2/3 of the way through, I was thoroughly enjoying it and getting a bit more into it, but it just all ended in a meh sort of thing. So that's why I've only given it a 5 out of 10. But there you go. That's my review based on the fact I haven't seen the original. But obviously, as I said, it's okay. It's okay to have one in the background, but don't put everything to one side just to watch this. It's probably not worth the effort. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, and if you have seen the original, yeah, it looks as though people are recommending it. Do you recommend it? Let me know anyway in the comments. It'd be great to know. Anyway, until we meet again, that's one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.